welcome everybody. Good evening. It is Victoria here from Inspiration Den. How are you doing today? I hope you're okay. As you can see, we are in the kitchen tonight. Ooh, so we're moving around the house week after week, trying out all the different rooms. You'll have a lovely view of all my house over the weeks if you keep watching our videos. That's quite funny, isn't it? Always lovely to see you. It's Victoria here from Inspiration Den. Good evening. It is Tuesday evening and we are here for our Tuesday live. So if anybody's watching, hello to you all. Well, tonight I thought I would talk to you about a little mindset change that we can do. Really beneficial, it's really easy and really simple, and it's one of those habits that we can try and get into that actually makes quite a big difference. It's really simple, and it's basically, all it is changing should into could. And that's what we're going to start with today. There is another step that we will look at next week, but today we're just going to change should into could. Now, the word should is so laden with expectation and judgment and all these different negative things. I should do this and I should do that and I shouldn't do this, and it's all these negative emotions that come up automatically with that word. So if we can try and replace should with could, it already changes the feeling of the sentence really easily and really quickly. So if we think, well, we could do that, I could, yeah, I might not, but I could. And even changing that one little word, even if you leave every other word in the sentence exactly the same, that one word change, and it's just literally even the letters, isn't it? You know, it's changing the two words of the sh to the one word of the kalika, and it makes such a massive difference. So if we take a few examples, you will see how this works. So if you use the example, I know I should get into shape. We all know we should get into shape. Do we want to get into shape? Well, we do. Do we want to do the things that we need to do to get into shape? No, we don't. If we change that should into could, so instead of I know I should get into shape, if we change that to I know I could get into shape, it gives us a little bit more choice. Do you think? For me, it's about choice and it's about control, and just that little change really does change the whole feeling of the sentence. I know I should get into shape. Well, I should, but you know, who knows? I know that I could get into shape. I could do it. I could do it. It gives you hope. It gives you control. It gives you choice. If you think of another example, I know I should make better food choices. Is that not laden with guilt? Is that not laden with all of those kind of negative emotions that we've just spoke about briefly? Isn't it just? If we instead say, I know I could make better choices, is that not giving you choice and control? I really think it makes a massive difference to our mindset and our thinking patterns if we can just make this one little tiny change. If you think of the sentence, I really should clean up before I leave the house. Have we not all thought that one? I'm running late, gotta go, come on now, everybody out, go. I really should clear up before I leave the house. Well, yeah, that's not going to happen, is it? Instead, if you say I could clear up before leaving the house, you're giving yourself a choice. You could do it. You could do it when you get back, and that's absolutely fine. Somebody else could do it, and that's absolutely fine too. You know, it's choices. It's not always that we should do things or that we shouldn't do things. We can do things. We could do things. Sometimes somebody else can do something. Sometimes you can do it later, and it's absolutely fine. So hopefully already you can start to see how this can make a big difference. So I think a lot of the time we start off with the wrong questions, actually. We start with, what should I be doing that I don't really want to do? The health and fitness goals. Maybe the work goals, maybe the family goals, maybe the career goals, but actually it's trying to get us to do things that we don't want to do. And that negative thought usually is going to lead us to negative outcomes. We were chatting at walking group this morning and Catherine was saying that she'd watched I don't know if it was a film or a documentary, but she'd watched something on the telly last night, and it was quite resonating with her. And it reminded me of the phrase which she told me was by Henry Ford. It may not be. We think it's Henry Ford, but it's just the whole mindset thing again. And the quote is, if you think you can, then you're right. And if you think you can't, then you're right. And it's that positive, negative intuition that we have, that if we think we can't do it, we're not going to put the same level of effort in. And the same comes with all these negative things that we have. So if we want to do a long-term goal, but we don't want to do all the steps, we don't want to go and do the exercise, we don't want to eat healthily, we don't want to make the good food choices, we don't want to put the healthy habits in place, we don't want to do the steps that we need to do to get to where we want to be, we're not going to be there. And it makes perfect sense when you say it. But actually getting our minds to believe it and know it and understand it completely is a slightly different thing, isn't it? So instead of saying, what should I be doing that I really don't want to do, how about thinking about some more positive questions? So things like, what brings me joy? You know, what actually are the things that I enjoy in life? What are the goals that I would like to accomplish that actually really mean something to me? You know, we all want to have health and fitness goals, but why do we want to have them? You know, is it just because we want to be slim or thin or, you know, look like everybody else? Or, you know, is it actually to make our health better? You know, is it so that we can play more with the children or, you know, live a longer life or spend more time with our partners or, you know, whatever it happens to be. But surely if we have a better reason, then we're going to have a better chance of success. So some more examples. So what do I want my life or my year to look and feel like? So you could just, you know, obviously look at a year at a time. You might want to look a bit more longer term, potentially, depending on what do you want your life to look like? What do you want your life to feel like? What kind of a person do you want to be? What is important to you? What are your core values? All of these questions, and we might not know the answers. We might have an inkling of some of the answers. We might have to do some journaling, some reflection work, some meditation work, some thinking work, lots of conversation work perhaps. You know, we might have to do some work to get to some of these answers. But in the long term, you're going to get much better results if you do those kind of things than if we just go, well, I just want to do it because of it's what everybody else is doing, or it's what I think I should be doing, or all those kind of things. And then a really great question is, are my long-term goals important enough to influence my short-term decisions? So that really is quite succinctly what we've just chatted about around the edges for a few minutes. So are my long-term goals, are they important enough? Are they valuable enough for me to influence my short-term decisions? It's a good question, isn't it? It is a good question. I quite like that one. We did an activity at Warriors about core values actually, and I offered it to my children on Friday, I think it was. And Rory picked it straight away. He doesn't do anything at all that I try and offer him. But this one he quite liked, and he really did sit and try and go through the process quite thoroughly. You know, he did put some effort in, and he came out with his 3 core values. And I was really impressed with that. And later on in the week, actually it must have been yesterday, because we were only on Tuesday, it must have been yesterday, he was saying, oh, I've got nothing to do, I don't know what to do, and I said, well, actually, come back to your core values. What can you do with your bit of time that you have now that are going to incorporate your core values, because that's the things that mean so much to you and are going to fulfill you in your life and make you long-term, this isn't a very good grammatically sentence, but long-term happier is what I was going to say. So that was really interesting, but knowing what your core values are is really, really important. So I've talked a little bit today about changing should into could, and that's what we're going to try and work on this week. So it might be something that we say to ourselves primarily. I think it's one of those internal dialogues that we have a lot, isn't it? Oh, I really should do the washing, or I really should get that room tidied up, or I really should get the kids up on time so we can get out the door on time, and I really should do this, and I really should do that, and I really shouldn't be eating this, and I really shouldn't be da-da-da-da-da. And these are the kind of things that we talk to ourselves all the time. And if you can try during the next few days, during the next week, just try and notice when those thoughts are happening for you. And then just try and replace that should with the word could. So keep the rest of the sentence completely the same. You don't need to change anything else right now. Just change that one word and just see what a difference that makes. We have got one more step to do next week. So I won't tell you about that now. I will tell you all about that next week. And then we'll do a little bit more work on changing should into could and then into the next step. So that would be great. But thank you for watching, everybody. It's always really lovely to see you all. If you have any questions, any comments, put them in the tab and I will get back to you. Okay, take care, everybody.